All right. We are live. Oh, I gotta get this fucking microphone situated here. It's kind of. Anywho. It's February 6th, 2023. And these are your Fortean Files. It's still awful.
It still works.
It's still fucking awful. So I did reach out to Phil about a new news intro, and unfortunately, his keyboard is broken, so no music from Phil Pohl.
That's a bummer.
My response was, how the fuck am I supposed to do a new show without a new goddamn fucking Phil Polling news intro?
Maybe I should ask him, Chris.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe he'll get it together.
I don't know. But it could work. Could work. But yeah, it's been another week of fun. Probably my favorite meme of the week that I saw is why the show is titled the way that it is. I saw a meme that said showed a picture, I think it was of the blown up fucking Chinese spy balloon there. And it said Goodnight table, Goodnight moon, Goodnight Chinese spy balloon.
That's good. I could not see that.
That was my fucking favorite one this week. So that's the one. I could turn off my internet after I fucking found that one.
So yep. Good night, Chris.
Yeah, good night, me. So it's it's been a lot of fun shit in the news this week. So we will hop right the fuck into it. Katie found me the story that I was looking for last week from exemplar.com. Unidentified quadrupedal creature washes up on shore. If it's a mermaid, it's the ugliest one we've ever seen. Pale white flesh that seems like it has never seen sunlight is in the process of decay, but sharp, angular teeth can be seen jutting out from what once was a jaw of some sort on a bizarre carcass that washed up on a beach. The camera pans around to the front of the monstrous face, showing a short, flat snout gaping open to display a fearsome bite on an otherwise round and bulbous head. It has a thick neck leading to a long, twisted body that seems to have 4 human-like limbs that end in long claws. Interesting. Is that the thing? Oh, yeah, it shows it in the fucking article.
Mm-hmm. Kind of. I think it's a TikTok.
Oh, yeah. Some believe this creature matches an eerily close description of the Loveland Frogman monster, said to be a humanoid frog-like amphibian creature first seen in Ohio. These are believed to inhabit marshy grassland area. My brain just broke. I hate that shit. Or other frog-friendly environments rather than the ocean. But it does have a physical resemblance to the fabled cryptid. It wouldn't be unreasonable to question if this was an alien creature from space. Perhaps that crash landed in the water and did not survive, as the inhumanly pale skin and spindly limbs are often reported in extraterrestrial encounters. The washed up and deceased cryptid also resembles an unknown creature recently caught in the net of some fishermen. A creature with a strange webbed and clawed hand. While these creatures don't necessarily resemble the beautiful half-maiden, half-fish of fairy tales, they do certainly seem capable of attacking and drowning unlucky sailors. One commenter suggests this could also be the remains of a pit bull dog, seemingly more human with broken limbs stretched out of typical dog form. Yeah, it's, let's see if I can I play that fucking thing? Oh yeah, wait a minute. I'll put it up on the screen for everybody here so we can all enjoy it together.
It's definitely gross looking.
It won't let me share it. It won't let me share it. It won't let me share that friggin' story. That's
Maybe it's
weird.
because of the embedded media.
Could be. Anyhow, if you'd like, if you want to check it out, it's over at exemplar.com. Sure, if you'll be able to find the unidentified quadrupedal creature story.
It is very reminiscent of that. What was it? The Montauk creature.
Right.
It's very reminiscent of that in like the state of decay that it is, but it's clearly a mammal, a four-legged mammal with broken legs. And that's what gives it that frog leg appearance, is like where the legs are broken and then where
Right.
they're still attached. So it does look really weirdly frog-like, but this wasn't even in Ohio. So
Right. Yeah, it's I mean, like I said, interesting shit, but more than likely something extremely mundane.
yes, it's
No,
cool to ponder and look at, but it has nothing to do with the Ohio frogman, unfortunately.
no frogman. No
No.
frogmen were hurt in the making of this news story. So, on to the next story of the evening. Let's see what we got here tonight. This was an interesting one from CBS News. CBS! Woman mistakenly pronounced dead gasped for air after being found by Iowa funeral home staff, report says. An Iowa care facility is facing fines totaling $10,000 after mistakenly pronouncing a 66-year-old resident dead after and having her transported to a funeral home where she woke up gasping for air. A new report from the Iowa Department of Inspections and Appeals, released on February 1st, 2023, and first reported by CBS affiliate KCCI, details a series of events that led up to the woman being mistakenly pronounced dead. The unidentified resident who had been at the Glen Oaks Alzheimer's Special Care Center since December 2021 was moved into hospice care at the facility on December 28th, 2022, because of senile degeneration of the brain. While in hospice care, comfort measures were taken. Over the course of several days, staff members recorded occurrences of diminished lung sounds and minor seizures. On January 3rd, 2023, the woman was pronounced dead at 6 a.m. after an employee identified as Staff C said that she did not feel a pulse and found the resident was not breathing at the time. The staff member notified a licensed practical nurse. The woman's family was alerted and a local funeral home was called. A funeral director arrived shortly after 7:30 a.m. and with the assistance of another nurse identified as LPND, the resident was placed in a body bag which was zipped shut. The funeral director left the facility shortly afterward. At 8:26 a.m., employees at Ankeny Funeral Home and Crematory unzipped the bag. They observed the resident's chest moving and she gasped for air, the report states. The funeral home then called 911 in the care facility. When EMS responded, they were able to record a pulse and breathing, but there was no eye movement and no verbal response. That same day, the resident was returned to the care facility. She passed away early in the morning on January 5th with her family at her side, the report said. We have been in close communication with the family of the resident, and we just completed an investigation by the Department of Inspections and Appeals regarding the matter, Lisa Eastman, the facility's executive director, told CBS News. We care deeply for our residents and remain fully committed to supporting their end-of-life care. All employees undergo regular training so that they can best support end-of-life care and the death of our residents. The facility faces 2 state violations from the DIA, which could result in a $10,000 fine. Yeah. Which is an all too common story when it comes to hospitals, and care facilities, which are notoriously understaffed.
Yeah.
By the way, notoriously.
Especially the care facility angle, even more so than hospitals and stuff. Like, whew, it's bad out there. But even on top of that, even that fact aside, that kind of shit happens a lot more than people realize it does.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cases of people being pronounced dead and then a significant amount of time later begin breathing again. And it's really creepy, but fascinating.
Absolutely. I did want to let everybody know, those of you that are listening or watching over on the old Fortean Slip YouTube channel, we are now broadcasting as well onto our new YouTube channel. And I'm eventually going to not broadcast the show to the Fortean Slip channel anymore. I'm going to do it for a couple of weeks, let people know to go over to the new YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/@ the Fortean Files. That's youtube.com/ the @ symbol and then TheForteanFiles. You go over there, subscribe to the new channel. We can get this fucking bitch kicked off. Eventually, I will be streaming to Rumble as well. The Rumble channel is up. I don't have the link for that right now. But you can go look for the Fortean Files over there as well. We would like to get subscribers on to Rumble because I can't stream until I have like 25, I think. So want to get people over to the new platforms or our new profiles on the platforms so that everything goes smooth. And as always, we are on Anchor as well. I need to get the new Anchor link. I'll get that before the end of the show and pop that up. But it's the Fortean Files as well. So if you look for that when you're looking for your podcast, you should be able to find it. Anywho, our next story of the evening. From MSN.com, alleged pterosaur flying dinosaur claimed to be seen on video. Eyes have been turned to the skies in search of UFOs, but this time a cryptid was recorded instead. At first glance, it seems like a large bird soaring through the gray and cloudy sky, but something about the shape doesn't seem quite right. The head is too elongated, and instead of tail feathers, there are two short legs trailing behind, giving the overall effect of a pterodactyl-like creature that should be extinct. Zooming in reveals an even more dinosaur-like silhouette with the distinctive head shape that is unlike any bird supposed to be alive today. The wings seem more leathery than feathery and seem to have little hands where the wing joints connect. The wing flaps strangely, though, in a way that seems too mechanical and seems to rest at odd angles. Many believe this indicates it must be some sort of drone, perhaps combined with a bit of video editing. In support of this, there is a commercially available Jurassic Park Pterano drone with flapping wings. However, it is about the size of a human hand and is mounted on what looks like a more traditional drone made of white plastic to minimize its noticeability. Reports and videos of flying creatures resembling the extinct dinosaurs we only know from fossil evidence pop up occasionally under different names, such as the Ropen, Thunderbird, or simply as any number of dinosaur-related names. These are not the only dinosaurs people still claim to encounter. Even to this day, many believe the Loch Ness Monster is actually a somehow surviving isolated population of plesiosaurs, and Africa has tales of the Mokele Membe, which many believe to be a surviving sauropod like Apatosaurus. So, pterosaurs. I don't know where this video can be seen. They don't tell you where the fucking video can be seen.
No image of it either?
No. I mean, they show a pterosaur image, but not of this fucking thing.
That's fucking helpful. Jesus.
Right. Yeah,
well,
thanks.
I can say...
looks like they give us a nice description.
Yeah, fascinating. It had me intrigued, honestly.
But no picture.
Well, I live in a place where we have great blue herons, and they're magnificent. And I mean, I have them 10, 20 yards outside my door sometimes, and they're big. The big, like, dominant males, oh my gosh, they're way bigger than you think they would be. And they do look really weird when they're flying. And we actually, ironically, call them pterodactyls Like when we see one, I'll be like, oh, hey, go look at the pterodactyl out on the pier. Like,
Yeah.
because that's what they look like. So,
Well, they're dinosaurs. Birds are fucking dinosaurs.
oh, yeah, these things are total
I got
dinosaurs. I
fucking
love
parakeet. I
watching
got
them.
parakeets. They're little fucking ravenous dinosaurs.
For sure.
You know, they're fucking little monsters. I love them to pieces, but they're fucking little monsters.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they gave you nothing in this article. So, you know, I don't know if anybody else can find the fucking thing, but it's not in this article. So, our next story of the evening from patch.com. Bigfoot sighting reported in PA. Detailed report made. The Class B sighting made by a former police officer was deemed credible by an investigator. Deemed credible, Katie. Credible.
By whom?
I see. That's the thing. I always want to click on these stories. So fucking jaded.
Yeah.
So fucking jaded. Anyway, from Pennsylvania, former police officer has apparently discovered something unusual in the deep wilds of the Pennsylvania woods, and Bigfoot researchers are hailing it as the latest sighting of the mythical beast. Large and unusual footprints with almost 4 feet between them were spotted near the town of Indiana, about 50 miles northeast of Pittsburgh. The tracks were similar to human tracks, but different, the witness said in a report made to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization. There were no shoe treads in the tracks. The man said the tracks were in a large field that had 4 deer wandering near it at night. According to the BFRO, deer are the main protein source for Sasquatches. Of course. Of fucking course the BFRO.
They had to throw that in there.
The sighting was made on December 20th and investigated and published by the BFRO in February. The group said that the man who made the report was sincere and credible. They said the tracks are nearly identical to photos taken in Lewis County, Washington in 2020. It's considered a Class B sighting, which indicates that a Sasquatch was not directly seen, but evidence was spotted. In this researcher's assessment, given the step length and stride length of the prints, the lack of any identifiable shoe tread in the prints themselves, the chronological context of the track find, and its congruence to other Bigfoot tracks found elsewhere, strongly suggests that the tracks are not human in origin, but Bigfoot in nature, the BFR wrote. Given the location of the trackway, it might come as a surprise to some that Bigfoot would be found so close to human civilization, their report went on. However, given the increasing body of anecdotal, transient, and conditional evidence of Sasquatches exploiting the margins of human civilization, the location is not that surprising. So, found some tracks. That's what we got.
Yeah, that's pretty anticlimactic.
I did not read that story. Like I tend not to pre-read anything.
Did they have any pictures of the tracks?
No.
Why would they do that? Silly me. My bad.
Silly rabbit.
Tracks
are
my
for
expectations. Kids. Sorry.
It goes to show you have to take everything in this with a grain of salt. You have to.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You have to be able to cast aside bullshit. You have to be able to read between the lines, and you have to critically think when you look at this stuff. Because if you just fall into the soup, you're just going to get mixed in, and you're going to fucking believe in everything.
Well, unfortunately, that's what these type of articles are made for. Are made for people who
they're made as
just
like
going to click on it and
yeah, definitely clickbait.
Yeah.
So we do have a comment from Farmer Fred Smith. Do they taste like chicken? And I'm assuming he's referring to the frogman. Catch one.
No, actually, I think he said that while we were talking about the pterodactyls. But
the pterodactyl. Oh well, then catch one.
Yeah, let us know.
My comment is the same. Catch one. Let us know. Barbecue that motherfucker up. Let's find out what pterodactyl tastes like. Right here on the fort. You cook that shit up, Farmer Fred Smith. I'll eat it. You
I
find
could
a fucking pterodactyl and or a frogman.
find out what a gray blue heron tastes like, but there might be some laws against that. I'm not sure.
There might be some laws. I'd leave that one alone.
Well, and they eat all fish, so
But
they probably don't taste that great.
I'm all in. If Farmer Fred Smith can find a pterodactyl and or a frogman, kill that motherfucker, fry it up and eat it, or roast, whatever the fuck you gotta do. Do we slow cook that son of a bitch? How do we do it, Farmer Fred Smith? Do I stick that fucking thing in a crock pot and let it sit all day, marinating so that it falls off the bone? What do I do? Do I look like fucking Gordon Ramsay? I gotta know.
Honestly, if somebody could pull that off, I'd give it a try.
I gotta know. I gotta know what fucking pterodactyl and frogman tastes like.
Well, I was watching that boneyard guy that is up in Alaska and digging out his own boneyard of mammoths and all sorts of prehistoric shit. He, like, kind of, in not so many words, admitted he's eaten mammoth meat out of the ice. Like, what? That's crazy. Like, holy crap.
That is fucked up.
People up in Alaska who do that, that's kind of like an underground thing they do. They'll call their buddy and be like, yo, just found a mammoth in the ice.
People are weird.
Yeah.
People are weird.
Thousands and thousands of years old flesh. And you're going to put that shit in your mouth?
No, I'm good. I'm good, thanks.
That's wild.
On to our next story of the evening. From Wired.com, spotted a UFO. There's an app for that. Enigma Labs launches a project to crowdsource and quantify data about unidentified aerial phenomena. The tech startup Enigma Labs wants to turn UFO sightings into data science. Previously, people who had seen strange lights darting around the sky could do no more than tell their friends or call intelligence agencies. Soon, anyone with a smartphone will be able to use an app to report an unexplainable event as it happens. Enigma Labs' mobile app was released today, initially on an invitation-only basis as they work out the bugs, although they plan to make it available to the wider public. For now, it'll be free to download and use, although the company could later charge for additional features. The company will not just be amassing new data. It has already gobbled up data on around 300,000 global sightings over the past century and included them in their system. And while their data set will be available to the public, their algorithms for assessing it will not. At our core, we're a data science company. We're building the first data and community platform exclusively dedicated to the study of unidentified anomalous phenomena, says Mark Douglas, Chief Operating Officer of the New York-based company. Part of their goal is to reduce the stigma of reporting something unexplainable, even if the viewer doesn't actually think it's visiting aliens. For the record, some government agencies and companies like Enigma Labs now use the term UAPs instead of UFOs, unidentified anomalous phenomena, rather than unidentified flying objects. The change is meant to encompass a broad range of objects that might not have an extraterrestrial origin, and to make the terminology sound less pejorative. Or to just cut the balls off it. Could be that too. Identifying an unknown and distant object or explaining a phenomenon one has never seen before poses a unique challenge. Nevertheless, the app asks users structured questions like when and where in the sky the user saw something and approximately what shape the object had. It also gives them space to tell their sighting story and provide more details, and they can upload a photo or video. It's a bit like citizen science projects in which volunteers help classify telescope images of galaxies. But in this case, the images are submitted by volunteers, and most of the classification is done by an algorithm. The company wants to do more than just ingest lots of data, though. They want to apply their proprietary models to rule out things that are not UAPs, such as by determining whether there's lightning or unclassified aircraft nearby. And they want to filter the credibility of the data sources as well, distinguishing between highly credible military pilots, trained observers with corroboration from multiple sensors, and then at the opposite end of the spectrum, a single witness who maybe had a few drinks too many and saw a point of light in the sky, Douglas says. The core issue to studying this has been a data problem. What is credible? What is not? Who is credible? Who is not? He argues. What we're trying to do is bring a level of standardization and rigor to that. Of course, the challenge will be applying scientific standardization to something that might not be scientific at all. Eyewitness testimony is notoriously unreliable, and people interpret what they see based on factors like current events and their scientific, political, and cultural backgrounds. The data you're getting is socially constructed, says University of Pennsylvania historian Kate Dorsch, who specializes in scientific knowledge production. UFO sightings began as an American obsession following World War II and the Roswell incident in 1947, when people in New Mexico found mysterious debris that may or may not have come from a crashed military balloon. Sightings quickly spread across most of the world, Dorsch says. An interest in Roswell, as well as the U.S. and USSR's nascent space programs, may have encouraged people to think of lights in the sky as alien technology. And this article goes on and on. But anyway, there's going to be an app for that, Katie.
Wow, that's just what we need.
Fucking app for that, so that you can report your sightings.
Yes, because every single one of those are going to be completely legitimate and not little teenage boys fooling around on an app.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Jesus.
That'll be the rub. I mean, because you're gonna find. I mean, in a case like this, you're gonna find that a lot of people are going to send incredible stuff.
Right.
But you're going to get a lot of that too. Now, if they make people pay for it, that will probably cut that down a bit.
Yeah.
Some. Usually by asking people for money, you cut that shit down a little bit. But we'll see. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
It's definitely a thought.
There's a national group that does the same thing for like shooting star sightings and stuff, like comets and stuff. I guess not comets, but like if you go see a shooting star, you can go report it, and you can see people all like in your tri-state area that like saw the same thing. It's actually pretty cool. So I mean, it's the same premise as that, so it's definitely a good idea. Yeah. But I still can't help but roll my eyes at it just on principle.
Again, when you look at this stuff long enough, you get a jaded sensibility. You either go all in. Oh, I just lost my fucking light there. I don't know how that happened. You either go all in, or you become jaded.
Yeah.
One of the two things happens. And it's not ideal. To find the people that can be somewhere in the middle, where they're not all in and they're not completely jaded by what they've seen. Those people are a rarity in these fields.
Yeah.
It'd be good to see more of them.
For sure.
Yeah. But I just don't see it happening. There's too many people like fucking, the Dr. Johnsons of the world, and, the fucking Stephen Greer, who's right out there, if you ask me.
Yeah. For sure.
The ghost hunting shows.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Bunch of horse shit.
All of it.
If you like that shit, good on you. But I don't see how anybody can see that stuff as credible. I
Not
just
for a long period of time. I can see somebody maybe kind of getting sucked in and then kind of having fun with it. But at some point, it has to be spoiled for you.
If you want to watch Ghost Hunters and make it into like a drinking game, I'm okay with that. That's cool.
The only ghost hunting show I've ever genuinely enjoyed was the BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Well, those guys are fucking skeptical as all hell.
Exactly, and it was so much fun. Oh my gosh, they were a riot.
Yeah, those guys are extremely skeptical. So
yes, and they just goofed off and had so much fun. And I mean, it still had a little bit of that spooky factor, but
one of them's like very into the topics, or so it seems. The way they
Yes.
play it off anyway. The other one
He's
seems
less
like he's like,
skeptical and he's a little more like actually kind of like, well, this shit might be true.
right.
So it's a really fun dynamic. Plus, I think they're both very similar in age to me. So their humor dynamic is just like very my generation. So
Right. It hits
I
well.
love that show.
Yeah. It's fun when you find shit like that out there to
Yeah.
enjoy. I get sucked into talk radio. Like that's my thing.
Yeah.
You know, like Opie and Anthony for years, and now I listen to Jim and Sam every morning that they're on.
Yeah.
So it's, I just get fucking sucked right into shit. Our next story of the evening, from PHL17.com. Need Valentine's Day plans? How about going to a haunted house? Do you love scary things? Are you looking for Valentine's themed plans? Well, we have the perfect place for you. Lincoln Mill Haunted House is hosting a one-night only Valentine's themed haunted house on Saturday, February 11th from 6:30 to 10 p.m. Equipped only with a candle, venture through the hidden chamber in the darkness with a Valentine's Day twist. This blackout experience will heighten your senses as you encounter the mill's inhabitants and the ghost of Victor's Valentine, said the description on the Lincoln Haunted House website. The event will feature a dark love story called Victor's Valentine, and with over 30 scare actors, the experience is sure to give you a fright. Fun.
Yeah. No, that actually sounds really fun. I would totally do that.
Valentine's Day Horror House.
Where was that at?
Was that what did it say? Lincoln Mill Haunted House. Where is it? Philadelphia, looks like. Somewhere near Philadelphia.
Nah.
Yeah.
It's too far.
Yeah, you gotta go somewhere else.
That's a fun idea.
It is. It's an interesting idea. Our title story of the evening, I guess you could say, from Reuters.com. Spy balloon witness thought it might have been a star or UFO. Of course. Chase Doak was getting ready to leave work when he spotted what he thought might have been a star or even a UFO. Turned out to be a spy balloon floating high over the United States, and his images have been seen around the world. The Pentagon reported on Thursday that a spy balloon it's suspected is Chinese had been flying over the country for a couple of days. China says it is verifying the situation. Doak's curiosity had been sparked when the airport in Billings, Montana, issued a ground stop as the military mobilized assets, including F-22 fighter jets, in case President Joe Biden ordered that the balloon be shot down. Just a few minutes earlier, I had seen some news reports of some airspace restrictions here in Billings, and so I thought that was a little suspicious, he told Reuters. And I was looking out the window like I normally do, and I just happened to spot it out of the corner of my eye, and at first I thought it was a star. But I thought that was kind of crazy because it was broad daylight, and when I looked at it, it was just too big to be a star. From his driveway in Billings, Doak captured the images of the balloon, described by a U.S. defense expert as the size of 3 bus links flying high in the stratosphere, above where commercial airlines cruise. Not going to lie, first I thought this was a UFO. Then I thought it was Elon Musk in a Wizard of Oz cosplay scenario. Fuck off. But it was just a run-of-the-mill Chinese spy balloon, Doak said on Twitter. He told Reuters, "It seems so brazen and so insane to me that anyone would even attempt to push a balloon over the sky. Because to me, it was just like, this thing is so visible in the sky. But I guess it was high enough that some people might not see it. And I don't know. It was just really crazy to see." Sure. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning said Beijing had no intention of violating the land territory and airspace of any sovereign country. China has itself often complained about surveillance by the United States, including its deployment of ships or planes near Chinese military exercises. The United States took custody of the balloon when it entered U.S. airspace and had observed it with piloted U.S. military aircraft, a U.S. official said. U.S. military commanders eventually advised against shooting down the balloon because of the risk of safety from debris, a U.S. official said. So they waited until it was out over the ocean. Bum, bum, bum. Goodnight, Spy Balloon. This has been a fun one this week.
Yeah, it does seem really weird to me. Like, they didn't do that on purpose, clearly, right? That's so
What?
blatant.
The Chinese?
Yeah, like fly it over that spot on purpose.
Oh, I think the Chinese are getting very blatant. I think the Chinese are getting very, very, very blatant.
I mean, that's supreme blatant.
Well, we tend to stick our dicks everywhere from this country. We've got a dick in every country, and we need to stop that shit. So it is what it is. We like fucking teasing superpowers right now, I guess.
It would be really crazy to see that in the sky, though. Like if you were just driving to work one day.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, if I fucking would have been checking it out if it was flying over where I was and it was clear skies enough for me to see. I've been hauling out my binoculars.
What is it? The Goodyear blimp?
Yeah.
That flew over my area like a year or two ago, and it startled me at first. Like, what the fuck is that? And then I was like, they still do that? I had no idea. I looked it up online, saw the track they were going, and sure as shit, today over my area. Like, wow. Huh. I had no idea.
Fucking airships. Need airships. Need to go back to dirigibles.
I don't know. I don't think there's much need for it.
Turn this shit steampunk. I heard about a company that was trying to make a transatlantic one. And I was looking at like the specs of it and everything, how it was all designed and shit like that. It's pretty cool, pretty interesting. But
I don't know.
It's funny what will allow ourselves to be subjected to as far as our own safety is concerned. We'll get inside a fucking plane, which could easily crash.
But statistically, it's safer than a car.
Statistically, how many fucking dirigibles blew up? One that I know of. I only know of the one big disaster.
Oh, I'm sure there's been more than that one. That's just the big one that everybody knows about,
but,
right?
But shit's gonna break. Shit's gonna crash.
Oh yeah, you have no control over your fate when it comes to that shit.
I think in a lot of cases with stuff like this, we overcorrect an insane amount.
Oh yeah.
And we just say nope, never doing it again.
I think that's in our human nature though, for sure. I mean, I've even gone through that recently just with hitting that deer. I've slowed down so much driving through the country. I've been taking an extra 10 minutes lately to get to work because I'm just so afraid of another deer stepping out in front of me. So I just slow it down, taking it easy.
Impatient.
That's how I usually am, but not anymore. Not after you spend thousands of dollars fixing a car.
Fucking deer and be like, you piece of shit, you fucking ruined my day. Now I gotta fucking drive faster to get to work.
That is not the logic I've taken.
Yeah, I got some issues there. My cousin was talking to me recently about, because I want to buy a bike this year. I want to get my motorcycle license. And he was like, I showed him what I wanted to get, and it's not a big bike. It's actually a scooter. It's basically considered a scooter, but it's like 180 or 165 cc's. They keep up, go on the highway. And he's like, why don't you get yourself a fucking real bike? And I'm like, because a real bike has a lot of power and I don't trust myself with it.
Yeah.
And he's like, really, you? And I'm like, you obviously don't know me as well as you think you do.
You don't want to have that option.
I don't.
Yeah.
Because if it's there and I fucking, for some reason I want to use it, I'm going to put myself in danger.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you don't have a motorcycle then.
Well, I want to get the scooter, it's like I said, it's a bike.
Yeah.
It's fucking, like I said, I can take it on the highway. And I want to get one this year. It's my plan. I'm starting a part-time job this week, so I can start saving some money for a bunch of stuff. Actually, we were supposed to have my son on the show tonight, but he had to bail because of college stuff. But He did tell me that next week that he could do the show. Now, he's a college kid, so we're going to take this with a grain of salt.
No promises.
Maybe there'll be an Odin next week. Maybe not. So
Well, it would be
if
fun to
if
have
so,
him.
it'll be a bonus.
Yeah.
Kid's funny. He's a good kid.
He's great.
But yeah, he said he had some fucking tests this week, some exams and shit, and he's got a lot on his plate. So he's like, I really can't. And I'm like, nah, no worries, no worries. You know, I want you to fucking get through college, kid.
Oh yeah,
I'm
he's got good priorities.
I'm gonna be shelling out a lot of money this year for it. So
right.
Because I got to help him pay for his tuition this year. That's the other reason why I picked up the part-time job.
Right. There's always something.
Yeah, something you got to do. But anyway, with our, I'm going to have Katie do the last story of the night tonight.
I was beginning to think you forgot.
Nope, sure didn't. But I've got one last story from foxnews.com. North Carolina man's remains found in 55-gallon barrel filled with concrete. Sanford, North Carolina man arrested, charged with murder. Lee County, North Carolina, detectives made a gruesome discovery last month after finding the dismembered body of a man who went missing at the end of 2022 in a barrel filled with concrete. Detectives with the Lee County Sheriff's Office say they executed a search warrant at a home in Sanford, North Carolina, as well as an adjacent plot of land on January 25th, 2023. The search took 2 days to complete, and on the second day, detectives spotted a 55-gallon drum in a heavily wooded area. The sheriff's department said in a press release that the drum contained concrete and what detectives suspected were human remains. The barrel was confiscated the barrel was confiscated and sent the North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office. Sent to the North Carolina Medical Examiner's Office, maybe? For inspection. While there, the medical examiner found a dismembered body after removing the concrete from the barrel. The body was that of Michael Bradley Cox, who was reported missing since December 24th, 2022. Jackie Lamar Bright, who lived at the residence that was searched, was arrested and charged by the sheriff's office with murdering Cox, according to authorities. At the time of his arrest, Bright was on parole for unrelated charges of possessing a stolen vehicle and possession of drugs on January 26, 2023, police said. He posted bond and was arrested again on January 11, 2023, for possession of drugs in violation of parole. The sheriff's office said the investigation is active and additional charges are expected to be filed. Yeah. Dude found in a 55-gallon drum of concrete.
Yikes, I hadn't seen that one. That's wild.
People are the monsters, people.
But hey, you know what? They found that pretty quick, though.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you find something like that, it could have been out there for fucking years.
Oh, yeah. There's that one true crime story that I remember hearing about with they find like the drums that in the house, like in the back, in this fucking secret like room.
Yeah.
And like the guy had been sitting with him there in his house, like he found them, and they were from the previous owner, I believe. And then they find there's remains in them. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
shit like that is
out there.
Like I said, it just goes to show you that people are the real monsters.
Yeah.
Like we love looking into stories on this show about monsters, whatever they may be, fictional, real. But the more and more that I live, I realize that people are the real monsters. Like animals that like will kill you. They're just creatures doing their thing.
Mm-hmm.
People are malevolent.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a shit show of a world to live in sometimes when it comes to that. Anyway, we are joined by greatness, Katie.
Yes.
The great
I see that.
God has joined us from up on high. Why is there no backlight for God in his little photo?
Yeah. There
and
should
like
be
a
some rays of
huge
light.
chair. Shouldn't there be like
Yeah.
angels and like when you come on the show, should there not be like an angelic choir of angels in my ears to announce your arrival?
Yeah. Little cherubs.
I'm curious. You pick an identity. You're either Santa Claus or you're God up on high, Dean.
Well,
Pick
and
one.
he's got the wizard thing going too.
Okay, I'll give him Gandalf. But
Yeah.
pick an outfit. Pick a
He's
fucking outfit.
multi-talented.
This, I'm just a guy with a big beard in darkness. Doesn't work for me, Dean. Doesn't work for me. You need to pick this identity. One of them. You're not fucking Sybil.
That's Dean Cooper for you.
It's fucking Dean Cooper. Anywho. Katie, what do you got for me?
Well, it is from NBCnews.com. Oregon kidnapping suspect likely killed 2 others before standoff, police say. An Oregon man accused of torturing and trying to kill a woman is thought to have killed 2 people before he fatally shot himself during a standoff with police, authorities said Wednesday. Benjamin Foster, 36, had been the subject of an intense manhunt after a woman was found bound and badly beaten in Grants Pass in southern Oregon on January 24th. The woman, who officials said had been in a former domestic relationship with Foster, remained in critical condition Wednesday. Grants Pass Police Chief Warren Hensman said, before Foster died by suicide Tuesday, he killed 2 other people. Richard Lee Barron Jr. and Donald Owen Griffith were found dead by officials going door to door to check on residents in Wolf Creek, a community around 20 miles north of Grant Pass. We believe blunt force trauma was the means used in this, Oregon State Police Captain Kyle Kennedy said. It's a brutal scene. No relationship among Barron and Griffith and Foster is known, Kennedy said. On Thursday, Foster escaped law enforcement officers who had surrounded a home in Wolf Creek. Kennedy said authorities were checking on residents in the area when they discovered Barron and Griffith, who most likely were killed sometime after 3:30 p.m. Monday and before 7:10 a.m. on Tuesday morning. So Foster took a cab to Grants Pass, officials said. A dog had been taken from the Wolf Creek home where the 2 men were found dead, and video in Grants Pass showed a person who appeared to be Foster walking a similar animal Tuesday morning. Law enforcement officers surrounded a house and told residents within a half a mile to shelter in place. During a lengthy standoff, Foster burrowed deep underneath the home and appears to have shot himself once in the head with a .45 caliber firearm. Sorry,
That is something I would never want to hear from the police.
Right.
Like, shelter in your home. Don't leave.
Like, no kidding. That is so terrifying.
Like, what the fuck's going on? Everything's under control. Nothing to see here.
Be afraid to even look out your windows, but you'd want to look out your windows at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
Police had to cut through floorboards to remove him, Hensman said. Foster was breathing when 2 officials found him, but was pronounced dead at a hospital. The standoff unfolded in the neighborhood where the woman had been found days earlier. Foster tried to kill her in the course of intentionally torturing her. The district attorney said, so I got something weird here. It's very awkward.
God love these news stories.
Police discovered the woman had been bound and beaten after a friend went to check on her. He said the victim had been beaten and tortured for a protracted period of time. She has a long way to battle herself towards recovery, he said. Ugh. As authorities in Oregon and elsewhere were looking for Foster, Grants Pass police said Foster was using dating apps and warned he might try to lure unsuspecting people to help him. 2 years ago, Foster was convicted in Nevada after he held his then-girlfriend captive in her Las Vegas apartment for 2 weeks. he reached a deal with prosecutors and pled guilty to felony and misdemeanor batter. He was sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. And is in jail awaiting trial. But that's the end of that read really, really confusing.
Isn't that fun? Those fucking news stories. What throws me off is when the grammar is totally not like there's a word missing and you're like,
right? It
what
totally
the
makes you
fuck did I
stumble.
just read?
But basically, this dude was convicted and served time for a very similar crime before. So,
oh, nice.
Yes.
That justice system.
Just 2 years ago. So that really wasn't even that long ago either.
Yeah, justice system just working to keep you safe.
Yeah.
Just working round the clock to keep you safe. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Never admits when it's wrong. It's always
sucks
right.
for those two guys, though.
Yeah.
Probably just, I'm assuming he broke into their house and murdered them while he was on the run, right?
People just do fucked up shit. You know, sometimes it's just as simple as people do fucked up shit. Or sometimes they're, you know, you get like serial killers who always do fucked up shit.
Right.
You know, I mean,
well,
it's a spectrum, Katie.
Well, and this guy had nothing to lose because he knew that he was in deep shit for torturing that chick. So,
yeah, he just said fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a dangerous thing. A man and or a woman with nothing to lose is a dangerous thing.
Yeah,
it's a very, very dangerous thing. But yeah, that was fun. Good old Chinese spy balloons. I think we're going to see some more.
2023 is off to an interesting start, eh?
2023, the year of the Chinese spy balloon. Is that our Chinese astrological symbol now? The spy balloon? That's what I'm going with. It's the year of the spy balloon in the Chinese zodiac. Fucking people. It's a weird time we live in, Katie. It's a very strange time.
Oh yeah.
Very, very strange.
Who you telling? It's very weird out there.
You know, everybody's got to try to stay safe. Be good to one another, folks. Be good. Like, you know, check on your neighbor. People are just fucking hating on one another right now. It's weird.
There's a lot going on.
It's weird. Although I think like some people are starting to find a modicum of baseline between each other. I think in some cases, people are starting to find that we're not as divided as we think. Or we're being made to think, I should say. And that's why I you know, and I think I said it on the last show, I try to imbibe stuff that I wouldn't normally. Like stuff that I disagree with. So that I can hear what they have to say. I want to hear their arguments. I want to see, you know, where I agree with them, where I disagree with them. Sometimes this makes me very angry. You know. But more often than not lately, I've been a little more enlightened by it.
Yeah.
To realize
it's important,
that,
I think, to see both sides.
Yeah, there's a lot more common ground than there are things that divide us, I think.
Yeah.
And I think we need to find that as a country instead of trying to find all the things that separate us and put us on different sides of a fucking aisle that doesn't represent us at all.
Right.
So that's the world.
And I think that the big common ground we can all come to is that we're all just fucking humans out here, you know? Like, sure, I might disagree with you about something, but you're a fucking person. You still deserve my respect. So
yeah, it's like
that.
Joe Rogan says often. He says, you know, if you lived their life, you'd be them. You know, we have to remember that sometimes.
Yeah.
If you lived that life, you'd be them.
Yep.
So, Farmer Fred Smith says, if we don't get a grip on things, it'll be Lord of the Flies out there. Fred, I'm going to say it again. Pterodactyl or a frogman, I'll eat the fucking thing. You cook that son of a bitch up, it's going down. You slap some fucking, some like fucking good marinade on that son of a bitch. We'll find out if it tastes like chicken.
We'll have ourselves a cryptid picnic.
I'm all for it. Frank Smith, hello all. Good evening, Frank from Ireland. I want to remind everybody, if you are on the old YouTube channel, we have moved. I will be broadcasting the show live for the next couple of weeks to the old YouTube channel. And then I will be doing away with it. I mean, well, it'll still be there, but I'm not going to put the shows on there anymore. They'll be going to the new YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/at the Fortean Files. That's youtube.com/ the @ symbol TheForteanFiles. As always, if you want to keep up on stuff with the show, you can go to the Facebook Fortean Slip page, facebook.com/ the Fortean Slip. I throw the show links and everything in there. I will be keeping that page going. That's kind of become a thing of its own. That wasn't really podcast related. I don't know what it fucking became, and then Facebook fucked it, and here we are. And the new Anchor page let me pop that up here. Podcast is going a little slow, but hey, it is what it is. It's new. Got to do what you got to do to get through. But go over to anchor.fm/ the Fortean Files. And subscribe to that podcast. Give us some fucking downloads, people. Hit that fucking thing. Hit it. Subscribe. If you can only find it on Spotify, I'm sorry. Subscribe to fucking Spotify. God damn it. Or download the app. You don't have to fucking pay for it or anything. Just fucking listen to the show. Get us some downloads. We'd appreciate it. And we will be back next Monday. I'm hoping we can keep it on Mondays for now. Don't know what's going to be going on with my schedule in the future. We will see how this pans out with my work schedule and everything. I think it'll be all right. I think Monday nights will be all right for right now. We'll be doing Monday nights at 7. Next week we'll have, hopefully, the son, Odin, join us live from college town. You got anything else over us this week, Katie?
No.
Yeah, just
not
another
really.
week. All right.
Boring stuff.
We will see you all next week. Be good to one another out there, people. Have fun. Later.